There are 8 thoughts silently destroying your confidence every day. They whisper that you're not enough, that it's too late, that success belongs to someone else. But what if you could silence them, not by fighting, but by understanding? Today, we'll uncover the 8 negative thoughts that hold you back and how to turn each one into strength. Because your mind can be your greatest enemy or your most powerful ally. Number 1, catastrophizing. Imagine you make a small mistake at school or work. Maybe you send the wrong message in the group chat, or you receive some negative feedback from your boss. Now, instead of thinking, "Oh well, mistakes happen. Nobody's perfect. I'll fix it and move on," your mind begins to spiral. Everyone will talk about this for the rest of the school year. If I lose this job, I'll never find another one. All because of one small mistake. That's catastrophizing, turning a tiny slip-up into the end of the world. But here's the solution. Pause, take a breath, and ask yourself, what is the most likely outcome? Most of the time, the truth is much simpler than your fears. Maybe you can just delete the message, laugh it off, and move forward. If it's a bad review at work, you can use it as feedback, improve, and keep growing. The mistake doesn't define you. What matters is how you respond. Number 2, double standard. Picture this. You're comforting a friend who just failed an exam. You say, "It's okay. One test doesn't define you. Everyone makes mistakes. You can do better next time." But when you fail a test yourself, your reaction is completely different. You think, "I can't believe I made these mistakes. I should never fail. I'm such a disappointment." Notice the double standard. You give kindness and encouragement to others, but you hold yourself to an impossible level of perfection. The truth is, you deserve the same compassion you so freely give to others. Imagine how different life would feel if you spoke to yourself with the same patience and support. When you start applying the same standards to yourself that you apply to others, you'll find freedom, balance, and growth. Number 3, labeling. Imagine this. You can't fix a machine when someone asks for help, or you make a small mistake at work. Instead of thinking, "Well, I don't usually deal with this, but I can figure it out," your mind jumps straight to harsh labels like, "I'm such a failure. I'm stupid." That's labeling, attaching a negative identity to yourself based on a single action. But remember this, one mistake does not define your worth. Just because you made an error doesn't mean you're a failure. Forgetting something or messing up once doesn't mean you're stupid. It simply means you're human. So, when you catch yourself labeling, pause and reframe it. Instead of saying, "I'm a failure," try saying, "I failed this time, but I can learn from it." See the difference? The first statement traps you in a negative identity, while the second keeps the door open for growth. You are not stupid. You simply can't master everything at once. And that's okay. What matters is learning, improving, and moving forward. Number 4, what ifs. Imagine this. You're about to perform on stage. You've prepared for days, maybe even weeks, for this moment. But just before it's your turn, your mind begins racing with what ifs. What if I forget what I was supposed to say? What if they laugh at me? Instead of focusing on all the effort and practice you put in, your brain creates 1,000 worst-case scenarios that haven't even happened. Suddenly, you're so nervous that your hands shake, your voice trembles, and you can't perform the way you wanted to. That's the trap of what-ifs, worrying about imaginary disasters instead of living in the present moment. But here's the truth. 90% of the things we fear never actually happen. And even if they do, They're rarely as bad as our imagination makes them out to be. So next time your mind starts spinning with what ifs, pause, take a breath, and ask yourself, what if it goes right? Because on the other side of fear is possibility, and that's where miracles happen. Number 5, assumptions. Imagine this. You walk into a restaurant and a group of people glance at you, whisper something, and laugh. Instantly, your stomach tightens. Your mind starts spinning. Are they talking about me? Did I do something wrong? Is there something on my face? And just like that, your whole mood shifts. You start to sweat, lose confidence, and before you know it, you've convinced yourself that they must think you're weird, awkward, or ugly. But here's the truth. You don't actually know what they were talking about. They could have been joking about something completely unrelated, sharing a funny meme, or even laughing nervously about their own conversation. Yet your mind filled in the blanks, and it filled them with fear. That's the trap of assumptions. We create entire stories in our heads without any real evidence. We judge other people's thoughts, reactions, and intentions, not based on truth, but on our own insecurities. So, next time your mind starts writing a story about what others might be thinking, pause for a moment. Ask yourself, do I actually know this is true? Or am I just assuming? Because most of the time, the only thing standing between peace and anxiety is the story we tell ourselves. Number 6, self-criticism. Imagine this. You just gave a presentation at work or school. You spent hours preparing, rehearsing every word, making sure everything was perfect. When it's over, people clap. A few even compliment you. But later, as you sit alone, your mind starts replaying every tiny mistake. That part sounded awkward. I stumbled over that word. I should have done better. You completely ignore the positive feedback and instead zoom in on the smallest imperfections like they define your worth. The truth is, most people probably didn't even notice those things. But you can't stop criticizing yourself, as if perfection is the only way to deserve pride. That's the trap of self-criticism. It convinces you that being hard on yourself will make you stronger, but in reality, it only makes you smaller, quieter, and afraid to try again. So the next time that inner voice starts tearing you apart, pause. Would you speak to your best friend the same way you speak to yourself? If not, then maybe you deserve the same kindness you give to others. Because growth doesn't come from blaming yourself. It comes from patience, compassion, and the courage to keep trying, even when you're not perfect. Number 7, black and white. Imagine this. You just started learning guitar. At first, it's exciting. You picture yourself playing songs effortlessly, fingers gliding over the strings. But after a few weeks, your fingers hurt, the chords buzz, and nothing sounds right. You try a few more times, and then you say it. I'm terrible at this. I'll never be good. And just like that, you put down the guitar and walk away. Not because you couldn't learn, but because your mind decided it was either perfect or failure. That's the trap of black and white thinking, seeing everything as all or nothing. If you're not the best, you think you're the worst. If you can't get it right now, you assume you never will. But the truth is, no one becomes great overnight. Every expert was once a beginner, fumbling through their first steps. Progress lives in the messy middle, the space between not yet and almost there. So next time you catch yourself saying, I can't do this, pause for a moment and add one simple word, yet. I can't do this, yet. Because growth isn't black or white. It's a spectrum of effort, failure, learning, and trying again. And the ones who reach the top aren't the ones who got it perfect from the start. They're the ones who kept going when it still looked messy. Number 8. Should-haves. Have you ever looked back on something and said to yourself, I should have studied harder. I should have taken that chance. I should have said something before it was too late. We all do it. The mind loves to replay the past, not to comfort us, but to remind us of what we didn't do. You start thinking about the mistakes you made, the words you didn't say, the moments you missed, and suddenly you're stuck, trapped in a loop of regret. That's the weight of the should-haves. They whisper that you could have done better, that you missed your chance, as if punishing yourself could somehow change what's already gone. But here's the truth. You can't rewrite the past, but you can learn from it. Every should-have is just a lesson waiting to become, next time, I will. So instead of saying, I should have been braver, try saying, next time, I'll choose courage. Instead of, I should have started sooner, say, I'll start today. Because if we never made mistakes, we wouldn't be who we are today. You can't change what you should have done, but you can decide what you'll do from now on. These are 8 negative thoughts that quietly destroy us every single day. I hope this video helped you recognize them. And the next time those thoughts start to whisper, pause, take a deep breath, and speak to yourself with kindness. Because the way you think about yourself shapes the person you become. If this video resonated with you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more relatable content. And together, let's take the true step toward becoming stronger and kinder versions of ourselves.